The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host. You can hear my shows all over the great state of Alabama, Monday through Friday from 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in Huntsville, from 10 until 11 on Talk 99.5 in Birmingham, and News Radio 1440 down in Montgomery, and then again from 3 until 4 on the UMP in Huntsville. And if that's confusing, wait until next week when we change one of those radio stations and we tell you something completely different. With me, as always, Mecca Music. She is the CEO of 256today.com. Smart news for smart people. Mecca, hope you had a fantastic holiday.
It was so great, but I'm so happy to be here with you.
I know. I've been waiting. We get to do it again in the new year as well next week. How exciting for us. Also exciting for us, Anthony Daniels, House Minority Leader. He'll be with us. He is a state representative representing part of the Huntsville area. We'll talk with him about a bunch of different things, including his overtime tax exemption, which will be a hot topic in the new year in the Alabama legislature. I have a parting shot for you about working on Christmas and a lot more going on here. So let's go ahead and get to it right now. Let's get to that 2-minute warning. Okay, we're not even into 2025 yet, and we're talking about 2026, and I think this really annoys me. I'll just be completely honest with you. But there are a lot of names out there of people talking that they are going to be running for governor or not running for governor. Of course not. I'm not running for governor. Who will eventually run for governor? I think all of this is moot at some point if Kay Ivey decides she's had enough of being governor and Will Ainsworth just slides in there. But if that does not happen, then I think we have a very interesting potential race. Lots of talk about Tommy Tuberville potentially getting in that race. And I've said on this program and numerous other programs and on social media and everywhere else I am that it sounds ridiculous to me that Tommy Tuberville might jump into the governor's race. So it's probably going to happen. So, I mean, at this, it sounds so absurd.
It does, but you just never know. It's so absurd that it could happen. But I agree with you. I'm not sure how.
Why would you leave the Senate for this?
And from everything I hear, he's loving it. He's enjoying what he's doing. He's enjoying being a part of this.
He's everywhere. People love him. I don't get it. The people that hate him are the right people. I mean, he has done all these things correctly, where the people that dislike him are the people who are supposed to dislike him, and the people that like him are supposed to like him, right?
This is true, but let's talk about the presumed candidates. You're saying they haven't announced. Well, nobody's announced yet, but we can say there's presumed candidates.
Right.
Number one on that list is Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth, and we have a joke that he's been running an 8-year campaign for governor.
It's a bad joke.
It's a great joke.
Because it's absolutely true.
Joke.
It's absolutely true, and he has been, and there's no question about it, and he is seen as the guy, but then there's Steve Marshall who's out there as well. And you've got other people, Stan Pate, you got all these other people. Rick Pate, see? That should tell you something. That there's all these different people out there. Who are they? Nobody knows in the grand scheme of things. But they come out of nowhere and become players.
Exactly, and that's just it, because the general population isn't quite paying attention to this like we are, and you're annoyed with it. I love it. I love it. I've been thinking about this for 3 years already. This is going to be a fantastic race. It's going to be so much fun. But what about, will Tim James make another race? Lindy Blanchard, there's whispers of a dark horse candidate from the Wiregrass.
Oh, let's just say Caroline Dobson and Anthony Daniels,
Dale Jackson.
Let everyone run for governor. Okay, all right, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about the Alabamification of the United States Congress, House and Senate, both. Groups of people in the state of Alabama in the delegation are getting into leadership positions and onto important committees. We've heard about Appropriations Committee. It's for Dale Strong. House Armed Services Committee is already on that. Adderholt's on the Appropriations Committee. You have all these people in there. And then the Senate, we got a bunch of people in there in different positions as well. Alabama lawmakers are really putting themselves in positions where they can be players in this new Trump era. There was a story on Yellowhammer News this week about Katie Britt and all the appropriations funding that came for military spending and things like that. there's a lot of money coming, and it's because of these committees that these people will lead.
Oh, absolutely. And I had this described to me, and it was just brilliant. They're like, Alabama, they're punching above their weight. We're more
That
of a
is not a saying. Punting above their weight.
No, punching.
Punching. Okay.
Did I say that?
You said punting.
I don't think I did. I think you misheard me.
We'll check
But what we're saying is, Alabama's not that big of a state, but how effective that our leaders in Washington have been aligning themselves and putting themselves in these positions. It's so effective.
It's
for
also
the
not
state.
new.
No.
Yeah, Bud Kramer was a very powerful
Absolutely.
guy when he
Shelby.
was there. Shelby was a very powerful one as well. Sessions was a player who was punting above his weight class,
That is not
as
what I
nobody
said.
says.
I am sure that is not what I said.
But I will tell you this: it's nice to see, and I've always said this. There's been all this talk about potentially moving committees and things like, or not committees, but moving headquarters to Alabama, Space Command, FBI,
Right.
et cetera, all these things. And I always say this: I say, guys, we need more Alabamians in the federal government. Even if they move here, we need people to work in those agencies and be a part of them and things like that. And, that's an important thing here. So the Alabamification is a term that Kyle Whitmire of AL.com, that's a newspaper that doesn't exist anymore. He used to say this, the Alabamification of America, as if it was a bad thing. I'm like, no. That's a good thing.
No, this is a great thing, especially for us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not only for us, you've got more of a different mindset on this, but I'm just talking about it in the general whole. That would not be the worst thing in the world. All right, let's move over to a very confusing topic, and I'm just going to be completely honest with you. This is a topic that I have struggled with a lot over the last couple of years, and if you think I'm struggling, talk to a lawmaker about it and see if they can figure out what this actually is. But there's a lot of conversation going on, and we've had a lot of talk about healthcare and how pharmacy benefit managers operate. They sort of operate as a middleman in between pharmacies and patients and doctors and all these other things. And there's a lot of people who would want to see some form of reform here. There's been some lawsuits from smaller pharmacies in the state of Alabama against some of the big dogs. The allegation is, that it's not an allegation, it's a fact, one pharmacy a week is closing, a small pharmacy is closing. I've sat down and I talked to people at pharmacies. I was sitting in the back of a pharmacy, and they're like just laying all this stuff out to me. And I'm like, guys, I mean, like, you're going to have to give me this is a very complicated issue. And I haven't done a good job of explaining it.
No.
Because it's hard to explain. And when you saw Philip Rigsby come up with a bill like this in the past, there was talk they would add 2 to 10 or whatever number of dollars to a prescription. No, that's not true. We could do it a different way and all these different things. There has to be like sort of a explanation done for the American people, the people of Alabama, that they understand it better. And I don't know if I'm able to do it.
Well, you haven't even gotten to the explanation at all. And we're nearly out of time on the topic, but can I tell you how it was explained to me?
Sure.
So let's say that I'm a tire salesman. I have a tire store. I buy four tires for $500. Well, as a tire store, I can sell those for $1,000 or for whatever I want. As these pharmacies that are struggling and closing, they can't.
Yeah, they're told they have to sell it for
Exactly. They have to sell it for this amount of money, and
if they lose, they lose.
Exactly. And so that's the easiest way that it's been explained to me. And it's a lot more complicated than that. There's so many other factors involved. But you mentioned Rigsby's bill. I had spoken to him when these lawsuits came up. And it did not go. It got shut down very quick in the legislature last year because of what you said. They called it a pharmacy tax, and he reiterated it wasn't a tax. It's to keep these pharmacies in business. But he is not committed to bringing it up in this
They've got to
next
figure
session.
out a way to sell it to the people as to what it means to them personally. And right now, the beneficiaries of the current system are the CVSs, the Walgreens,
Right,
et
the
cetera,
corporate, the big ones.
Yes, because they can absorb more and more and more, and the smaller pharmacies cannot, and that's how they're losing. But the explanation on this, I hate to break it to you, has not been good here and has not been good anywhere.
Do you like my tires?
I know
my
it's
tires.
good. It's
my
good.
Tires were good.
It's good, but like we were talking off the air, the continuing resolution that was up in
Yes.
DC, that was in there, and they stripped it out. And one of the reasons why I stripped it out, because I think most people are like,
so
"What is
lost.
this?
Yes.
What's going on?"
Exactly.
So I think that's another thing. All right. Let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about the new year and the new you. New Year's resolutions. That's right. That's what we're always talking about. What are we going to do in the new year? What's going to be different? I'm going to do the same New Year's resolutions that I always do. I'm going to be nicer, and I'm not going to yell as much. Those are the 2 New Year's resolutions that I always tell myself I'm going to do. It's not going to happen. So just the reality is I'm going to fail, and I already know that. But what about New Year's resolutions for lawmakers? Becca, before you get into that, what are your New Year's resolutions?
Oh, my New Year's resolutions, I am going to read more responsibly. I have a problem when I pick up a book, I just keep reading it and then I'm up too late. So I'm going to try to stick to a chapter.
Read more responsibly.
Read more responsibly. And then look, I have this written down. Be nicer to Dale.
Oh, that'd be nice.
You can be challenging at times. I don't know if you know this, but you can be a little frustrating.
Okay, well, let's talk about lawmakers. I can tell you what a New Year's resolution is for every lawmaker.
Yes.
Get reelected.
Yeah, well, okay, so
operate in 2025 in a way to get reelected in 2026.
So on 256 today, though, it's this really cute. We do this once a year. We have Alabama lawmakers and their New Year's resolutions, and we've got some great ones. State Representative Lomax, his was actually very deep. Y'all need to go read it tomorrow morning on 256today.com. But it's living more in the moment of now. Representative Witt is going to try not to cry at his children's weddings. I mean, it's very.
What weddings does he have?
He has two, and that's what he was saying. But it's really nice because it's very humanizing. Lawmakers are a lot like us. I mean, there was get more healthy, you spend more time with family, be more present, things like that. And I always like reading those and knowing that a lot of our favorite lawmakers have a lot of our same resolutions.
The be more present thing, I think, is relevant to lawmakers and to human beings because the number of people that we sat around over the holidays at Christmas and whatever and watch people on their phones while they're there with their family, I guarantee you that everyone saw this. I had a family member who had their earbuds. And I'm like, what are you listening to something? What are you doing? What are you doing? This is incredibly rude.
And also have a great one. We also have a great one coming from Alabama House Minority Leader Anthony Daniels, but I'll just let him tell you all about that one.
Oh, wow, it's a tease. Anthony Daniels will be with us here in just a moment. We'll talk with him about a couple of different things, including his overtime tax exemption. Stay tuned. It's Alabama Politics This Week.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Extra anytime on Fox 54 Plus, live, local, and always on.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant, and Dale Jackson sent you.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. US Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. US Med. Better service. Better care.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 877-744-0750. That's 877-744-0750. 877-744-0750.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Get the latest scoop on Bama straight from the coach's mouth. Stream the Kalen DeBoer Show anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Music. And our guest this week, State Representative Anthony Daniels out of Huntsville. He's the House Minority Leader. And I just got to ask you this question as we get started here. I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. You passed the first ever tax cut for overtime tax exemption in the country. Donald Trump went on stage and said, I love this. Not giving you credit for it, but went up there and said, let's do this as well. And now there are Republicans in Alabama going, how do we end that tax cut? You're a Democrat, and the Republicans are talking about potentially ending or not extending your tax cut. Can you explain that to me?
Well, there's only a couple of Republicans that I think are in that category. For the most part, most of the Republicans are either co-sponsors of legislation or calling me and encouraging me to go for the permanent tax cut instead of sunsets.
So what are some of the issues that have come up that certain Republicans who would like to end this, what are some of the issues that they brought up?
Well, anyone that's opposing this legislation is essentially want to increase increase taxes by 5%. And 5% on time and a half is way more than 5% on base pay. And so it's a higher tax increase. And so if we let this sunset, it will be a tax increase. Most people didn't really they see the number of saying it costs this amount, a certain amount of money. And so when I explained to them that this bill has increased workforce participation rate, there are 43,000 new individuals into the job market as a result of this legislation on an average salary of $60,000. That's $3,000 on the first 40 hours per employee that we're getting from the state coffers. So that's $129 million that we're getting. Then plus 13.5% on the corporate taxes that we're collecting because companies are more productive because they have the workforce to execute. And so that's $164 million new dollars.
I want to talk about the dynamic scoring side of this. We can explain what that is in a minute. But the number they missed by is so huge. I mean, the only way to put this is that they done goofed because it doesn't make any sense at all to go from this could cost $45 million to now it's costing $200 to $300 million, which, by the way, I don't like it costs anything because it's not money that goes to the government. It's just money y'all can't spend. But that's a whole other story. How do we go from a $45 million price tag to a $300 million price tag?
Well, one or two things happened. The numbers were completely off, and it was a best guess estimate, or there are a significant increase in the number of individuals that's working overtime as a result of it. And so it was one or two things. But at the end,
which do you think it is?
We've generated $306 million. So we spend you have $230 million as the impact, but you're generating $307 million as a result. It's about $77 million of additional revenue that you didn't have from the year before. And so for me, I see it as a great investment.
So, and I would think that a lot of people have seen this as a great success. Obviously, President Trump liked the idea as well. He's a fan. He's a fan, right? So tell me, do you think this is where do you think this goes from here?
Well, I think it's all up to the people. People hearing from their representative, hearing from their senators, urging them to make this a permanent cut long term. Companies should get engaged in this issue because it's increased their productivity. They're ahead of schedule with the same number of employees. There are more people entering the workforce in the sectors that offer overtime. law enforcement, our firefighters, our public employees, where we have significant shortages. We're able to fill those gaps, make our communities safer. And so it's a win-win situation for companies. It's a win-win situation for our budgets. It's a win-win situation for the people that are hard on dollars. And so they're out there working, and so we should be rewarding hard work.
So State Senator Arthur Orr, I talk with him every single week. I generally agree with him on everything he says, and he's got a pretty good track record of being right and being able to get done what he believes is right in the legislature. I asked you before, there were Republicans. You said there were very few of them. He's the one outspoken one in this situation. Is he alone?
I think he's alone. I think that there are a number of folks that's in this caucus and also in the Senate and the House that have called me, and they've also spoken out in favor of this permanent tax cut. And so I think that the senator is really not understanding the dynamic scoring of this legislation. And I understand he's want to protect the budget, but we have to put guardrails on every piece of legislation that we pass. And I can point to pieces of legislation that the senator certainly didn't put any guardrails on that's going to cost us significantly more than giving the people that are hard-earned working people the opportunity to make more money and take more money home.
Okay, this is going to get very interesting then. I think that's great. I think that's the way this should be looked at. And let's see the numbers as they actually are. I want to go back to a topic we discussed earlier in the conversation. We were talking about the 2026 governor's race. No Democrats' names were mentioned. Okay, I think your name came up at the end as I was running through just people who could potentially run. Excluding yourself, unless you want to throw yourself into the mix here. Who are the Democrat names that could jump up there? The only one that I could possibly think of is Doug Jones. Like he's won a statewide race. I mean, he's gone on CNN and said y'all like 1,000 times, so he's knocking that out. Who are these other Democrats that could potentially be in there?
Well, you'll be surprised. There are some names that I've heard privately that really certainly are looking at it that don't want to be talked about publicly.
Say their
that
names.
Are very strong individuals that I think will make a great governor. But the field is going to be extremely crowded. I think, as you mentioned, it'll be a crowded field on the Republican side as well. There are a lot of names that you're hearing that's running, and there are a lot of names that you don't hear about that's running, and it depends on who does what. Right? If there's an opening for the U.S. Senate, then you may have people that are entering the governor's race that may decide to go into the U.S. Senate race.
The reason I ask the question is because when we have openings in the Senate race, Democrats have kind of put up token opposition, if any, like on the statewide races. What is it about the governor's race that makes that race more appealing than, say, a Senate race?
Well, I think that the amount of dollars, the amount of money that's poured into it, okay. A national race kind of gives you the opportunity to have to run on a national platform, and sometimes the demonization of the Democratic platform is not as accepted in a federal race. Okay. But in a statewide race, individuals are running on what they want to do to really move the state forward. But in Washington, it's a totally different animal.
What about
with
you?
More appropriations.
What about you? Last question. We got to run out of time here. What about you?
I have one more question.
Okay, you got to make it quick. What about you?
What about me?
Okay, that's the answer. Go ahead.
Okay, so I teased this earlier, so we have to talk about it. What is your New Year's resolution?
My New Year's resolution is that we pass permanently the overtime tax cut for hard-earned individuals that are working hard each and every day. We're beginning to see some people take home anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 more dollars than they've taken in the past. Which also, with them spending those dollars, it generates more opportunities, more income for us, and it's making our budgets healthier. If you remove the overtime tax cut, what you'll see is you'll increase taxes on about 500-some thousand Alabamians. You'll also reduce productivity, which will then have an impact on inflation, and the costs will likely go up in certain areas, and then you may tank our economy.
We're going to see a lot on that conversation, I am absolutely sure. But right now, we're going to take a quick time out. Mecca is gone. Thank you very much, State Representative Anthony Daniels, for being here. The show gets so much better with Mecca gone, so stay tuned. The parting shot is next.
What's the address of your emergency? My 2-year-old son. We can't find him.
From the Fox 54 Plus True Crime Series.
I did not get an attorney because I'm a guilty man. I got an attorney because I'm tired of being accused of something I would never do.
Little man's gone. He's missing. We can't find him.
Little Man Lost. Available now on Fox 54 Plus. Stream on your schedule.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solutions Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. US Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. US Med. Better service. Better care.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now. Operators are standing by.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. Thank you very much for being here. Before I jump into a short parting shot, let me tell you about YellowhammerNews.com. You can sign up for my email blast and get the 7 things you should be talking about today every single day delivered directly to your email inbox. YellowhammerNews.com. Go sign up for that today. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to that parting shot. My party shot this week is directed at all the people Donald Trump directed his ire at on Christmas Day. Let's see if we can remember all of them. Let's see. There was Canada. There was Joe Biden. There was China. There was Panama. There is also, believe it or not, Greenland. Yes, that's right. All these different things Donald Trump had on his mind on Christmas Day came out via Truth Social or Twitter or whatever you want to use in order to consume what he is up to. And he is laying out pretty clearly what his new year is going to look like in 2025. He clearly has foreign policy on his mind. We all know the Ukraine-Russia situation, the Israel-Hamas situation as well, and then all of these other fronts that nobody even thought about. We knew about Mexico. Now Canada's involved. Like I mentioned before, Greenland and the Panama come now. We're dealing with all of those things. And Donald Trump is making it, I think, pretty clear that he is trying to set his agenda publicly heading into the new year. Now, how much of this he's able to follow through on or make a move on or do anything on, I don't know. But I think a lot of it is about negotiation. And I think that's what he's trying to do. And he did that by sending out a ton of messages on Christmas, showing that he is willing to work not only when he gets into office, but before he's in office. And he's basically president right now anyway. Thank you very much for watching and listening to Alabama Politics this week. We will be back next week. Thank you very much for being here. We'll talk to you soon.